Namaskar. I am Mahajyoti or MJ, and I am your yoga guide for today. And so I think today we'll start in a standing position. So coming up onto your mat or rug or wherever you are. And as we stand here, we'll anchor our feet in that Mother Earth, setting up those connections for all other living entities living on the earth. So connecting not only with the earth, but all living beings when we do this. Pressing into the earth, making the knees a little bit soft, but inviting that earth energy up the body, coming up into the pelvic bowl, pulling in the tailbone and in the abdominals, and growing upward towards the sun, rolling the shoulders back and to the posterior side of the body, and pulling the chin in just a scooch, ancient Sanskrit word, scooch, and pressing the crown of the head against the sky, spreading those fingers, activating all those energy circuits and muscles and all that makes us who we are, and breathing in and breathing out. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And on this breath, we're going to inhale those wings out to the side and over the head, making, I call this snowy mountain pose, because where I live, we do have snowy mountains right now. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we're going to point the palms outward. I should scoot back a little bit. Nope, still can't see my hands. And then we're going to exhale and push these clouds away from our mountain. So we've been building our mountain, building our fortress, and these clouds come and we're pushing them down. We're pushing them away. And inhaling, those clouds, just push those arms back up. And exhaling, we're going to slowly, slowly feel those shoulder blades in the back as we pretend we're pushing those clouds away, as we do every day in our lives. And then one more time, those wings float up, and then exhaling and pushing those clouds down. And as the hands begin to reach the earth, we'll bring them together and bring those hands into the heart as we've created this blue sky space all around us. Inhaling in, exhaling out. So then we're going to do what I call the Earth Sky Padahast. So we're going to take our hands, which are in this position, and put one hand up and one hand down. So it's like they're plugging into the earth, plugging into the sky, breathing in, breathing out. Holding the breath while it's all gone for 4 counts. Whirling those arms into a T and then bringing them down. Again, the palms are facing the earth and facing the sky. Taking a deep breath in. Inviting that energy into our being. Exhaling. Breathing out. Pausing the breath. Bhavanam, Kevalam. And then we'll inhale both arms back to Snowy Mountain and folding over, hinging at the hips, exhaling as we fly down to our feet. We're going to squeeze our big toes because that activates the higher chakras in the brain. Inhaling those arms out to the side. Coming all the way up into Snowy Mountain once again. Breathing in, breathing out. And then we're going to take our body and Make a gentle back bend, pulling in the chin. Coming back to Snowy Mountain, and then we're going to whirl these arms all the way around and down, coming down to the earth, sweeping the arms behind us, sweeping the arms in front of us, and coming back into a Namaskar Mudra. Breathing in, breathing out. So we're going to plug into the earth and sky energy once again. So sweeping those arms in opposite directions and making kind of an L with your wrist and hand so that we're just plugging right in. Breathing in, breathing out. And then we're sweeping the arms to the side and into the other side of our being, plugging into the earth and sky, inviting that energy in on the inhale and out on the exhale. Then we'll bring both arms over the head and we're going to dive down. Here we go, swan diving down, down to the earth. We're going to grab those big toes with our fingers and squeeze that meridian that energizes and activates the higher chakras of the body, the brain of the body, energizing those channels of our being, and then inhaling the arms out to the side, rising all the way up. And here we're inviting that sky energy in and exhaling down through the feet. Inhaling up into a gentle back bend, pulling that chin into the throat as we gaze at the sun beyond the building where we are right now. That perennial source of inspiration, and then coming back into Snowy Mountain, and we're going to whirl those arms down and around, coming all the way down to the earth, tapping the earth, swinging the arms behind us, swinging the arms in front of us, and coming back and settling into Namaskar Mudra. Breathing in, breathing out, recalibrating the breath a little. So in my personal practice, I would do this several times to get my body energized and my mind energized in the mornings, maybe even 8 times. So then we're going to spread the feet wide apart, maybe to the width of your mat or further. And then we're going to begin this slow motion of gliding from side to side. So the feet are on a slight angle. And as I come to one side, I lift that back heel. So we're twisting our feet, coming up on the ball of the foot, and gently tapping the body. Breathing in one direction, breathing out in the other. Gliding from side to side, slowly, not too fast, and gently tapping the body. Twisting all those joints from below the body, waist, and above the waist. And then we're going to raise that arm level to waist level. And as we do this, the elbows fold in towards the body. Lily's a little concerned about where my arms are going. And then we're going to come up to shoulder level. And then the arms are going to go above the head to the sky. And this particular mudra is pretty universal in terms of letting go of our worries, letting go of our troubles. And sometimes there's nothing you can really do. You're doing everything. So just letting those go. And when I do this, the corners of my mouth go up. So we bring in that smile mudra as well. The smile mudra invites those happy hormones to release in the body, in the mind. So even though our hearts are not into it, they're very good at regulating our moods. So then we'll scoot back down to shoulder level and waist level. And back to tapping the body. Breathing in, breathing out. Relaxing the body, relaxing the mind. And eventually we come to stillness, which is what yoga and meditation are all about. So we're going to keep the feet in this pose. If you want, you might feel more comfortable with them a little further apart. You can try this pose and see what you think. But we're going to engage in activity which is pretty widespread where I live at this time of the year. So then we're going to lunge from side to side. So this is a deeper lunge than what we just did. Inhaling and exhaling once again. And we're going to go pick us some apples. So then the hand comes up, grabs an apple, drops it in the basket, grabs an apple, drops. So we're gliding from side to side, opening the hands and the fingers wide, and then dropping that apple in the basket, which is right next to us. Picking those apples, connecting with the creation. And my knees usually sing during this. So a chiropractor once told me that if your joints crack a little bit, it's fine as long as there's no pain associated with that. Grabbing those apples, and we'll grab 2 more, put them in our basket, come up into standing, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we're going to do this thing where we bring both all the toes in, the heels, the toes and the heels, toes and the heels until the feet are maybe hip width apart. Bringing the hands home into the heart and taking another complete yogic breath. Recalibrating the breath. Turning our awareness inward to that fullness of who we are, to the fullness of what the creation is with all these living entities, be they plants, 2-leggeds, 4-leggeds, winged ones, swimming in the seas ones. Taking just a moment to marinate in that wonder of the creation. So we always want to be in that place of wonder with these living beings that we live with in our earth family on Mother Earth. So then we'll bring 1 foot forward. I usually bring the left forward and 1 foot back. So we're on our 2 different tracks for long distance skiing. Once again, the feet are hip width apart. And then once you've found a nice sustainable stance, bringing the hands to the heart, inhaling, breathing in, exhaling into that front knee. So we're lunging a little lunge. And then we're going to sweep the arms to the side like this. So I have one hand on my shoulder and the other arm out to the side. As we take a moment to remember all those living entities in the air and in the sea. And just holding them in our heart for a breath or two. And then we're going to glide the arms over. So I'm holding this elbow up. And here we're going to remember all those entities that crawl or walk on the land. Breathing in, breathing out. And then we're going to slide open both arms and we're going to bring the hands a little bit in. It's like we're hugging all these living entities that we share the creation with, loving them up as reflections of the Supreme, as having a little piece of divinity in them as well. And then we're eventually going to bring those hands together and bring that love into our heart, because in that love, we are all one. Breathing in, breathing out. And then I'm going to drop my hands down to my thigh, and I'm stacking them on top of each other, actually. Leaning forward a bit because I'm going to bring this back leg up right next to the front leg. So I'm hinging at the hips, leaning down more, getting ready to bring that foot up. So then we'll bring our feet right next to each other. Hands home at the heart. And then once again, we're going to set up that stance on the other side. So feet are hip width apart. The lead foot is inching forward. And then we have this back foot to a stance that's comfortable for you. Inhaling to the heart and then exhaling, sinking in that front knee. So we want this knee so that it's growing straight upwards from the ankle to the knee. So not leaning forward too far with that knee. Coming back into our supreme stance of spiritual balance. And then we'll take these arms to the side. Bringing the elbow up. Breathing in and remembering once again all those entities who live in the air, who live in the sky and the seas and swim in the sea. Those little expressions of the divinity, and then gliding those arms to the other side. And we're going to do the same with all entities that inhabit the land. Breathing them in, remembering the last time you were with some of them. And then we'll open both arms, bringing the hands in as if we're hugging this earth family of ours. And then eventually, the hands come together in extended namaskar. And we remember that in this love, we are all one. So remembering for a moment with our breath and our hearts, the oneness of this wonderful creation that we're in. Every atom, every molecule, every being has a little sliver of the divine in it. And they're here to speed us on our way. So then we'll drop each hand down to the front thigh, leaning forward, leaning forward, and I'm going to bring that back leg up, and here she comes. Leveling the feet up, bringing the hands to the heart, and remembering that wellspring of hope that is inside our heart. So once again, we'll sweep these hands to the side and above. Exhale, folding, hinging at the hips and coming down to the earth. Bringing one leg down at a time. Coming into a cross-legged position. And once we're there, we're going to inhale these wings up, and we're going to come right down in front of us. So as we come down in front, we're walking the hands away. So we have a long, clear stretch here. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing into that back body, feeling that breath coming up from the tailbone, into the shoulders, and exhaling back down to the tailbone. Feeling those ribs expand in the back, so we're doing back breathing. Exhaling. Putting your starfish fingers on, so your fingers are spread wide. Breathing in, feeling that breath coming up the back to the shoulders, and exhaling back down. Breathing up the back and down. So then we'll walk those hands, scoot back a little bit, I'm out of the screen, walk those hands over here so that we have one arm on either side of the knee, and we're going to stack those hands so they're on top of each other. Breathing in, breathing out. This is kind of a side stretch. Breathing in, breathing out, and doing that once again. Feeling that all the way down to the sacrum, and then we're going to walk those hands, crisscrossing them across in front of us, stacking those hands on top of each other, and we have one arm on either side of the knee. Breathing in, breathing out. Just stretching those muscles, not straining. Breathing in, breathing out. And one more time. So then we'll crisscross these arms to the center and inhale back up. And from here, we're going to have the legs out straight in front of us because we're going to grind us some corn. So interlacing those fingers, bringing those hands to the side, and we're going to make this big circle, crossing over the toes, coming over to the side, crossing in front of the body as we lean backwards, and then we lean to the side. So we're making a big circle or nest here, leaning to each corner of our orbit, stretching but not straining. And at the same time, we're turning that subterranean river of inspiration, of divinity, and calling it to rise to the surface. Bubble up. Give us some clarity. And this time, as we come over the feet, we're going to change directions and go the other side. So we're going to make sure to grind all that corn today. And as we're doing this, we're thinking of that inner supreme being, that inner voice, and how we're greedy. We want access to that every day. We want access to that shining light that sense of hope. And we want to catch a glimpse of that. So we're calling. We're inwardly calling for that to bubble up. And then as we come to the center, we're going to stop and pull in the legs. And just take a second to breathe in to the heart. Breathing out. Calling on that surfacing of that inner friend. Breathing in, breathing out. So then we're going to stretch our left leg out and our right foot in the inner thigh. And as we're setting this up, I'm going to take the straight leg and I'm actually going to pop it up and bend it a little bit. So we're setting up for a Janu Shirasana. And so I want to bring my torso over so that it points towards this knee of this straightish leg. So pulling that heart so that it's right there, pointing to the knee. And then we'll inhale those wings up and stretch up and exhale forward. Now on this, this foot that is somewhat straight, the toes are coming up and I'm just resting on the heel. So I'm putting both my hands around that foot, and if you cannot reach that foot, you need to bend that knee a little bit more. So bending into that, leaning into that leg, and I'm actually pressing those hands pretty strongly into the foot and kind of pulling it in towards my body. And that activates all the muscles in my lower back. Very nice back stretch. Inhaling those wings up. And once again, we're going to come down, around, embracing my foot. There's almost that feeling of pulling that foot into the body. And then let's fly up to the sky one more time, plugging my hands into the sky, exhaling and coming back to my hands. Always trying to point that torso, the heart towards the knee. Inhaling and flying up. So then we're going to turn towards this bent knee actually. I'm putting one hand on either side of that bent knee. And then I'm going to stretch this straight leg out even straighter. And as I plant my hands into Mother Earth, I am going to lean forward on that knee and press myself up and lift my arm up so that I'm rainbowing over my head. Uplifting gate. How can we be a gateway to positivity, being a gateway to the divine? And then we're going to sweep that arm back down, right next to his partner, and the hand on the floor, and lower the glutes back down. Coming back to center, and then we're going to scoot the legs over the other way. So I have one straight leg and one bent knee, and I'm going to pop this straight leg up a little bit. Inhaling the arms up and turning that heart towards that knee. Exhaling, coming down, lifting those toes up, keeping the heel grounded in the floor. Nice long neck. Remembering that love is everywhere, and how to be that highest expression of love of ourselves, always taking that high road. Inhaling the wings up, Turning our heart towards that knee again, and slowly lowering down. And so there's one of the, every asana has physical benefits and mental and emotional benefits. And this one is of stretching the lower back and also of nurturing hope. So here we go down again, nurturing hope. Nice long neck, pulling that chin into the throat. We're beseeching our inner friend to help us be that highest expression of ourselves. And then bringing those legs together, bringing the hands down to the heart, and sealing that asana, the benefits of that asana with Namaskar Mudra, that mudra of perfect peace and of balance. So then we're going to come up to our knees. And sometimes for these things, I like to put a little blanket under my knees if they're sensitive, which I have one that is, and it will complain a bit. So you have a second to bring out a blanket or a towel or something to kneel on. And we're going to practice some gentle back bends, bringing those hands up. And then I'm going to bring these hands in this position on the back of my body. So my fingers are pointing down my hips a little. So I'm inhaling and pressing my pelvis forward. And exhaling, coming into, what are we now? We're foothills now. We're those small hills before you get to the mountains. Inhaling, pressing that pelvis just a little bit forward. And coming upright. And then we're going to do this one more time. Pressing the pelvis forward and back. And then we're going to stick in one more level of this. So I am on my toes. My toes are curling towards the body. So this time we're going to sweep those arms open. And I'm going to turn and put this hand on my heel. And with this hand, I'm going to build a star. So always keeping to the light. Always keeping to that twinkling. Inhaling both arms up and then exhaling. Now I'm taking the other hand to my heel and I'm building a star here. Being that star that twinkles in the sky, that shows the way to those camels or caravans on the desert. How can we be that? Inhaling those wings up, and then we're going to do this one more time. This is a variation of the classical camel pose. Always following that glimmering of light. Inhaling those wings up, turning to the other side. Breathing in, breathing out. Bringing those arms and wings up and then down. So then we're going to move from camel pose into rabbit pose. So we exhale, coming forward, and the hands just follow the legs down. Then they take the turn at the knees and keep following the leg. The crown of the head is coming down to Mother Earth. So finally the head goes into the earth. And the hips are high. The hips are high in this one.
So then we can release the ankles and bring the hands right next to the ears on the floor and push the body up. And those wings come up as well. Exhaling the wings slowly down, and we're going to do it again. They'll follow the legs. Take the turn at the knee, going down to the ankles, and the crown of the head is coming down to the earth again, and the hips are flying up. Breathing in, breathing out. So then once again, you can bring the hands next to the ears and push the body up. We'll also bring those wings up. And they will fly over heads and come down. So we'll do this 2 more times. This is rabbit pose or Shushannasana. It's a variation that's very similar to the headstand. We're activating the brain. And this time you can bring your hands next to your ears, or you can just pull yourself up by your abdominal muscles. How strong is that core? So the last 2 times you can do either the hands next to the ears or come straight up with your core muscles. So here we go. We follow those legs down. We're coming down, searching for the divine within and without. Pressing the crown into Mother Earth, grounding the head. So if you're coming up with your abdominals, just leave your hands where they are on the ankles and do that reverse root with the hands coming up. Exhaling down, and here we go again. 1 more time with looking for the divine. There's not really a spot where the divine is not. Coming into the earth. Inviting that earth energy into the brain. Inhaling and seeing if you can come up with those abdominal muscles. You know how when you're with nature or with trees, you forget your troubles, you forget your worries. And that's what we're doing with rabbit pose, grounding the head in the earth. Breathing in, breathing out. And remembering that we're more than this physical body, more than this emotional and intellectual mind and heart. We're spiritual beings. So then we're going to move from our journey to camel and rabbit and move into a position where we're coming down on the ground with the back into the earth. Takes a little bit of navigating, getting the body down there. And for a minute, we're just going to relax into the earth. And so I have a phrase for relaxing into the earth, and it's puddling into the earth. So just being the puddle, relaxing your hands, relaxing your feet, relaxing the body, relaxing the mind, and just imagining that you're outside in the grass, in warm weather, just resting in the lap of Mother Earth. So starting Bhastrikasana with trying to release the muscles, release the troubles. So then we're bending the right knee, bringing that right leg up towards the chest, and the hands are going to embrace that knee and hug it into the chest. So I actually like to come down off the knee and into the shin as we pull it into the chest, giving the lungs a nice massage, all the organs in the thoracic cavity. Exhaling, releasing this leg, so it's going to go back down to Mother Earth. And the other knee is magically going to bend and come up towards the chest, and we're going to pull that leg in. So in yoga, we not only maintain the muscles in each pose, but we try to give a little massage to all those internal organs. And then we're going to release that leg to the earth. And then we're going to bring both those knees up, a little bit of core work there, and embrace both those shins into the stomach, into the body. This is really good for the digestive system and actually all the systems of the body. Then we're going to release those legs and let them fly down to the ground. We'll do one yogic breath, breathing in, breathing out, and then we'll bring that right knee back up into the chest. So this is a nice massage for the lungs. There's a lot of concern for lung health. So here we're massaging the lungs on both sides, the front and the back. And sending that leg home. Bending the other knee and slowly bringing this leg up. Hugging it up. Sending that leg down. And then bringing both those puppies up into the chest, hugging them up. So when I would do this in my personal practice, I might do it, one round is the left side, the right side, and both legs. So that equals one round. So I would do like 8 rounds. And it's so relaxing for the mind. Little core work there. Bringing that right knee in. Sending it home. Inviting the left knee in. Just being present with that, and that nice massage to all those internal organs. So each organ has in it a little sliver of the immune system to keep it healthy. And so this activates all the pieces of the immune system that are scattered throughout the body by massaging the organs. And then spreading the legs out, spreading the arms, bringing them over the head, and spreading them wide. Breathing in and breathing out. And pretending that you're a shining starfish on the bottom of the ocean floor. Shining. And just taking a couple of breaths to shine brightly there. There's stars in the sky, and there's stars on the floors of the oceans. And so we don't get to see them so much or have satsang or any sense of community with some of those entities in the ocean who are also so near and dear to us. So while we are here, we're going to bring our legs up to the sky, bringing our hands up to the sky. And then we're going to take our hands through the center of our legs and feet and wrap them around the legs so that we can do Ananda Balasana, otherwise known as happy baby, sliding from side to side and ironing out those wrinkles that might be in your back. This is really nice for the lower back muscles. And then we're going to bring the knees so that they're bent in the air and our hands are cupped over the knees. And we're going to pull the knees into the body, and then we're going to let the arms fall open, letting those legs go out, bringing the knees into the body and pushing them away. And as you're doing this, we're breathing in, pulling them in, exhale, pushing them out. And so while we're doing this, I want you to be aware of those muscles that are above and below your waist and how those are being impacted and gently massaged with this moving back and forth of the knees and the hands. So the whole body is connected. You know, you can move some distant part and then have another distant part on the other side of the body respond. So we're all connected inside this body, all the muscles, the fascia, the systems, all working together. And then we're going to take these knees and drop them both to one side. Spread those arms open. So hopefully one side of the body is into contact with the floor. And we can turn the neck so it looks at the arm that we left behind. Breathing in and breathing out, and then we'll raise both those knees again and glide them over to the other side and look at the other arm that is behind the body. Bringing those knees up to the sky again and taking them down to the floor on the other side, the original side. And as we do this, we're going to press into the floor and come up for a little yoga massage. So this yoga massage is kind of a neurolymphatic massage. So we're going to charge up those hands with love and compassion, and acknowledging our earth family and the divine that is embedded in every sliver of that earth family. There's nothing to fear. And bringing them over the eyes. So I like to imagine that it's going into my brain. These feelings, these vibrations are going into the brain and eventually trickling down into the mind. Taking our fingertips and raking the scalp all the way up to the crown and down the back 3 times. And then taking those fingers in the center of the forehead where our wisdom center is, our third eye, and pulling away from that on each side and ironing out all those wrinkles that are on the forehead, which after this class are going to be miraculously gone. And then coming into the eyebrows and circling them, and then under the eyes. And those eye wrinkles are going away. And then from the edge of the eye, we're going to go around the ear. Coming to the edge of the eye and around the ear, there's a little triple heater meridian there that's nice to warm up.
Then bring the hands to the sides of the nose, coming down that nose, across the face, across that cheekbone, across the mustache, kind of meeting in the middle and coming out to the sides. I remember a time in my life when I had a wonderful mustache. And then coming with the thumbs under the chin and coming up the jaw. So if you clench your jaw a lot and grinding teeth is a problem, this is nice for releasing the jaw, coming all the way up to the ears. And then we're going to cross those hands over the Adam's apple. And behind the neck, I think we have the vagus nerve back there and all kinds of goodies, and coming down onto the shoulders. Taking that hand over to the shoulder and circling it. Digging the thumb underneath that armpit into those lymph nodes that reside there and sweeping down that arm. And going in the direction of the hairs. Coming down to the wrist, back of the hand, and then I'm taking this whole hand and I'm gonna brutally unscrew each finger. Cuticles love this, the joints love this, and then I'm gonna love up that palm. Hi dear, hope you're doing good today. And then we're gonna come over to the other shoulder and the other armpit. So the armpit that guards the immune system in the upper thoracic cavity, the breast, the chest, the lungs. And we're going to scooch down that arm, back of the hand, and I'm going to take all these fingers on the opposite hand and unscrew each finger on this hand. Oh my God. And loving up that palm. Bringing the arms into a T, and this right arm is going to go over my head and just come down on the back. The other arm is going to come behind and just lovingly touch any part of your back that you can come into contact with. Bringing both arms up, and then we're going to do it again on the other side. Getting that shoulder, be sure to get those shoulders coming into the back. And then massaging the heart, the chest. And I'm going to dig into that hip crease. Necklace of lymph nodes, and then I'm going to go down that leg with both hands. Love you, dear. They're holding us up every day. And then we're going to bring that ankle onto the other knee if you can. And just with one hand on the sole of the foot, one hand on the top, just scoot the hands down the whole foot. And loving up the sole of that foot. They do so much work for us. And then I'm going to lay that foot down and come and dig into the hip crease of this side and those lymph nodes that reside there. And then I'm going to go all the way down the leg 3 times and bring this ankle up to my knee if I can. One hand on either side of the foot and just sliding along that foot. Love you, dear. Oh my goodness, you look cleaner than the other foot. Why is that? And then rubbing up the sole of that foot. Just reminding your body, love you too. Coming down. And then we're going to go into deep relaxation. So I like to spread my legs out in front, spread my arms in front, and see how slowly I can go down, as if we're playing limbo. And once we're down on the floor, Bringing your hands to your side, opening your legs and relaxing, and then doing what we did earlier in the class, just relaxing the body, relaxing the mind and the troubles, relaxing the heart. Breathing in, breathing out. Remembering once again our connection to all living beings, our connection to that inner friend. And this mantra again is about what the whole class has been about today, of loving those connections that we have with the creation. Trying on some level to love even those who make life difficult for us, knowing that all of these experiences we have are there to not to pull us in the undertow, but to help us go up higher in the ladder, to progress spiritually, to progress intellectually, and especially in the heart. Babinam Kevalam, love is all there is. Babinam Kevalam, love is everything. Babinam Kevalam, Babinam Kevalam, Babinam Kevalam, Babinam Kevalam, love is everywhere. Babinam Kevalam, love is everything. Babinam Kevalam, 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 Namaskar. May you greet your day and be in it with that sense of awe and wonder, remembering that there is not a spot, that the divine is not. Thank you for joining me for our yoga today.